Hi everyone, so I'm Julie from the Single Mums Business Network, for those of you who don't know, and today I have with me Val, who is an evidential medium. Now, whilst Val is originally from the UK, Val and I very luckily resides in Australia, travels worldwide with her mediumship. So Val, thank you very much for joining me. I know that you're very short on time in the UK, but please let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Hello everybody, and thank you for inviting me to the group. It's rather exciting, and Julie and I are old friends, and it's so lovely to actually be here in person with her. I got to pinch her because I can't believe I'm actually here myself. I work within Australia and the UK. I've been in Australia for 10 years, and I come back and service my clients over here. That sounds a bit rude, but that's what I do. So I'm an evidential medium is somebody that actually connects to loved ones who've passed over, and it's the most amazing job in that you connect people who've lost somebody, obviously, and then you give them the comfort, the upliftment, the motivation, the strength to keep going, and basically that's what it is. And I do that with one-on-one private readings and also shows, which I'm doing 3 in the UK at the moment, or in the next 2 weeks, which is very exciting. And then I teach, and teaching has become my passion, and being able to teach people how to do mediumship properly, and whether they use it for a public usage or they use it for their own personal usage, it's entirely up to them. But I know that for myself, yes, I use my mediumship to display myself publicly. Sorry, I'm off thumbs and fingers this morning. But the other thing is that having that connection to your loved ones in the spirit is so helpful in your everyday life. I mean, the number of times I know that a lot of ladies in the group are in difficult situations, but I've just turned to my grandparents or my dad or whoever and say, I just need some help. And when you actually ask for the help, it's so surprising how those answers come to you, and I am just so blessed with that. And you know, some people won't believe it, and some people don't understand it, and that's their thing. But I've been dealing with this since I was 7 years old, and actually working with spirit for 30. So I think, you know, I trust them implicitly, and we've been talking about this morning, weren't we? Blind faith. I just have that absolute blind faith and trust that whatever I'm doing is what I'm meant to be doing, but it's pulled me out of so many holes as a single mum. So yeah,
that blind faith is so important. I think we've got to listen to our intuition a lot as women. You know, it's some people, however you connect with spirit is, you know, there's lots of ways you connect with spirit. Some people like to do it through God, some people like to do it through intuition, some people like to do it with feeling very comfortable about talking to loved ones past, I think. As you know, I always light candles, and I'm always consulting my loved ones who've passed over. I'm always talking to them, I'm always asking them for their advice and guidance, and I follow that. And I trust it implicitly. I know when I'm being guided to do something, and I do it, and you know, I'm on the right path. I know I am. So we have got, obviously, the Single Mums Business Network. Particularly, what we're doing with the Single Mums Business Network is we are trying to reduce stigma a lot. Now, 100 years ago, it really wasn't acceptable to leave a toxic relationship at all. You and I have talked in great detail, and I know that you've been through some harrowing journeys, as I have, you know, a few of my relationships. And what we need to do is we need to take away the stigma associated with single parenting. You know, we're just women, we're hard-working women, and what we do is we are empowered as well. It's one word, you know, that can be misconstrued sometimes. But we believe in our right to be happy, and our right for our beings to be respected, and to be loved in only the proper way. You know, and I think the single mums have either walked away from something that isn't harmful to them as a person, or it's been not by choice, and the partner has decided to go elsewhere, and that's their path, and the lady's left feeling lost and stranded, and how on earth am I going to cope? And you know, so we kind of help through that and say, well, you can do this. It doesn't have to be a victim status. You can, you know, we're obviously fighting for it to be easier for a woman to work with childcare responsibilities. But what we're also doing is for women who can't do that, we're giving advice and information on how we're making self-employment work, and you and I are both doing that. Now, you've been doing this for a lot of years. You started up your secretarial business going back when you was in your last marriage, which you can divulge whatever you want about that. So your advice probably to maybe women and men sometimes too, because it's the drive is the other way sometimes. What would your advice be to anybody who's thinking, I can't stay in this relationship, I need to figure out how I'm going to make it on my own, but I've got restrictions because of caring duties or something else. I want to be self-employed, I'm scared to be self-employed. And, how can they kind of channel that, trust that they're not alone for a start, and then secondly, to just take some practical steps. And what practical things can they do to get started and give themselves PR, it's because none of us know. I mean, you and I both know now about MailChimp and Canva and, Hootsuite and things like that. And it takes time to learn about all of these things. So if you could give just a couple of pieces of advice about either personally or professionally, what would you like to say to anybody who may be watching this feeling a little bit broken?
Well, the first thing is to trust your intuition, and we were laughing about this earlier on because my first instinct is get out, and I know it's not always easy to do that, and it takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage and a lot of guts to be able to do that, because it's not easy. Julie said I was in a similar situation myself. Many years ago, I actually went to a women's refuge because I was needing to get out of a marriage, and I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to turn to. I didn't know who I could speak to, and there was no out there information. So a group like this is just amazing, because you've now got people who have been through similar that you can talk to. They've been through all the pitfalls, blah blah, and they can help you. So I went to the women's refuge, and they basically told me that I had to walk away and leave everything that I had behind, and it was all mine. So I didn't do that, but I made a pact with myself that I was going to work myself out of that. So I looked to what skills I've got, and this is what I would say to people: what skills have you got? What are your dreams? What are your passions? And then you hold on to those. And if your dream or your passion is about children, find something about children. If your dream and your passion is about knitting, do something with that. Do something that's creative. I was very lucky. I've been a secretary for years, and I set up a business working from home, and that grew, and then mediumship took over, and the passion for the mediumship has just become incredibly strong and powerful. But I'm finding now that even with that, there are a lot of people, a lot of women and men, because I actually teach men as well and work with men in the mediumship field. And they've had to overcome obstacles. I've got a lovely friend who says, I had to come out twice. He was gay, so he came out being gay, and then he had to come out as being a medium. So he had a double whammy. But it is about what is your heart? What is it you want? What is it that's going to make you make your heart sing? And I really think that, if it's talking to people, which is really important. I mean, you guys are so lucky having Julie and the other team members to be able to share what you've got, and because somebody will have gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different topics or different channels to be able to get information, and then the next person's gone through another XYZ. So it's all out there for you. But when you're first starting off, it is a complete minefield, and there is that blindness because you don't know your way forward. It is so scary, and also a lot of people, men and women, they don't have their family to turn to either, and I think that is one of the hardest things, because we all grow up believing that our family are there for us to trust and they will always be there to help us. Well, that's not always the case. When your family don't want to talk to you, it's really hard. So have that trust, have that faith, have that belief in yourself first and foremost, and a lot of you or a lot of people in this situation will have learned not to love themselves, because the things that you've been told and shown and the way you've been treated has pushed you down and down and down. And the first thing that I would ever say is you need to turn that around, and you need to learn to love yourself, because if we don't love ourselves, we can't expect to get out and do things in the world. But then find that little spark of passion. And it doesn't matter, as I said, it doesn't matter what it is. If you doodle, you could turn that into something magical as well. So it is just something simple, isn't it? It's so simple. I mean, I was lucky. I'd been a secretary, I turned that into a business, and then that was not enough for me, and I realised that I had to be doing something bigger. I never ever expected to be a medium. That's not what I wanted to do, but I'm out there on a public platform being able to help people, and that's what this group is. It's a public platform for people to be able to express themselves and find out how they can be better people. And you're already a better person to start with, but you've just been knocked down.
You need to surround yourself with positive people again.
Always.
And I think that's why I'm so... Obviously, the Single Mums Business Network is set up, but before that, the reason I'm passionate about networking is because I got out and I was networking around women who just want to see the best of you. They lift you up. They want to see you do well, whether it's networking with women or networking with men and women. You need to push yourself out of your comfort zone, go into a room full of strangers, and just let them reflect the niceness of you. Let them be genuinely interested in you, let them lift you up. And I always encourage my members, even though we've got a network, we all need somewhere to go. You can't be at home isolated and lonely. And whether you're self-employed or whether you're just starting in business, people are still very afraid of networking. And even if you've just got an idea, even if you're thinking, I actually don't know what I want to do in business, but I know I want to be self-employed, you can go out and network around in any networking group, and the people in that room are going to help you find that focus and find that confidence and find that belief in yourself and your self-worth and everything else. And then in turn that has a knock-on effect on your life, and anything that's wrong in your life you will slowly manage to break down, and you will recreate a life then that is actually one that you deserve to live.
It's funny because I started out as a secretary. That's what my background was, and I actually lost my job when I was pregnant, and of course when you're pregnant you can't get another full-time job. So I thought, well, what skills have I got? Well, the only skills that I had were the secretarial. So I set up a working from home with the secretarial business. And talking about networking, I used to network 7 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening, all the time I was out networking. And you mentioned about walking into a room full of people that you don't know. I found that the scariest thing in the world. And I ended up with a networking group that used to meet at the Dorchester Hotel in London. And that is the most daunting thing to walk in. And you walk in, they're all suited and booted. And I remember we had to go around and talk about our business for a minute. And, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? And one man turned round to me and he said, I find you very scary. And I went, pardon? And he said, you're so strong and you're so scary. And that really threw me, because I thought, well, I didn't think I was scary, but he didn't like the idea of a strong woman. And this is what we come across with a lot of things. And I came across that a lot in that business. And now, I have the attitude, again, we were talking about this in the last couple of days, I don't care what anybody else thinks of me. And somebody said to me once, your opinion of me is none of my business. And it's true. You haven't walked in my shoes for 1,000 miles, so you've got no right to judge me or to say things about me or to assume things about me, because you don't know. You don't know what I've gone through. And you might meet somebody in the street who's got the biggest, happiest smile on their face, and they're absolutely crumbling inside. So please, don't judge people. Just take people at face value and find out more about them by asking questions, and just be kind. Somebody said that the other day, just being kind to people is the most important thing. And that is a lot of us, or a lot of people out there, because we are very kind, but a lot of people out there, they actually don't do that. They don't think about that, and it really, really is important. So, we're not scary. We just want to help people. I get called a witch and all sorts of things because of the job I do. And I just laugh about it now, because I may to some people seem like a witch, and my thing is not everybody's cup of tea, and I understand that. But you'd be surprised, when somebody's lost somebody, who actually will come to you and ask for help, because they need to know, is my child in spirit? Are they okay? Are they being looked after? Are they healthy now? Are they still around me? Can I still talk to them? And that is really important. But And it's all well and good talking to those that have passed over, but we need to learn to talk to people around us as well. That's the most important thing.
I think that's it, and that's the trust, isn't it? And you've got to trust that it's safe enough to speak to people who are still here. We've got to trust each other a lot more. You know, people have been through either bullying in school or negative experience of connecting with other people or trusting somebody and then that trust being broken down. So we do need to rebuild that up, and we need to think it's not only safe to talk to our loved ones that have passed over, but it's also safe to talk to people here and to learn to trust again and to learn to sort of connect with other people on a human level. We're brilliant at doing it in the face of disaster. You know, the universe keeps sending us all these disasters so we can show how good we can be together and how we can help each other and look out for each other. And then the minute that disaster's, you know, a week away, a week past, we all go back to our old ways of being isolated in our own concern. So I think, you know, we need to really learn that properly. So you're here for the month. You're doing a couple of audience shows.
Yes.
Sorry, is it Bournemouth?
No, Woking.
Woking.
Old Woking. And Cranbrook, which is over in Kent, and then down in Porchester. So Porchester and Old Woking is with Jenny Doherty, who's the most fantastic medium I've ever worked for. She's so down to earth and says it is, so she's hysterical. And then for the first time in 30 years, I'm working with somebody that we started out together training, Karen Wood, over in Kent, which is really, really exciting for me. So all of that information is on my website. Can I mention
Yes,
that?
please do. Yeah.
valhood.com. If you look on the events page, it's all on there. And then I've got 2 days of readings, and I've only got 2 slots left, actually. So if anybody's interested in those...
And you can do this via Skype as when someone is like,
yeah. So the one-on-one in Reigate, the 2 slots left. But, you know, it doesn't matter that I'm in Australia, because I do Skype readings all over the world. And again, they're all bookable. Everything is bookable on the website. You just have to go and have a look on the events page or the readings page, and then you'll be able to do it. So, and one of the things that I just wanted to say was, and I think this is quite important, because this is something that I've learned over the years, and this is something that people say to me: you can choose your friends and you're stuck with your family. Just because family are family doesn't mean to say that they are your friends. So remember that as well. And I know that's probably going to be not a very nice thing to say, and some people are not going to like that, but that's what I've come across over the years, and so many other people as well. And I know myself, I've created my own spiritual family and network in Australia and elsewhere. And that's really
I think so.
my lovely friend.
And they don't mean it maliciously necessarily. No. I mean, I spoke to a girl. I spoke to a girl a little while ago, and she was looking at going into business, and she was. Her family didn't want her to change. You know, they wanted her to stay in the kind of the lifestyle that they were all accustomed to, and it was almost kind of threatening that she would want to go out and be this other person and be a businesswoman and potentially wear nice clothes, drive a nice car and things like that. You know, your family won't necessarily want to hold you back. They will love you, but sometimes they can just not understand the world that you want to be in. So you need to surround yourself with positive people. And you know, obviously I trust Val a lot. You know, we've been connected for a very, very long time, and I've had lots of one-to-one experiences with her. You know, I wouldn't do this interview if I didn't. So, you know, what we're looking for now is, you're ready for a big audience now, aren't you, Val? So if anybody watching, if this network watching, you know, what we need to do is we need to, if you've got a big event happening, and you're looking for a speaker, obviously not free, paid, you know, then bear Val in mind for that, because she's very motivational speaking, or speaking about mediumship, or as an audience, as a medium, connecting with the audience and giving those stories. You know, like we see a couple of men do. Well, we haven't got a woman on a big stage, I realised this morning. We've got a couple of men, but we actually haven't got a woman on a massive stage. So yeah, we need to sort that out in the UK in November. And I know you haven't even consulted you on that one. That's what I'm saying. We need to get that sorted out in November. When you're back in the UK next. So we'll cut it there, because this is just about, we're just under half an hour, so somebody can watch that instead of watching a depressing soap. And love to see you all. You know, connect with Val, connect with me, or connect with a network local to where you are. Reach out to people, let people help you, learn how to be liked again, and learn how to receive kindness again. Okay? All right, take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.